Hello, I'm Nabil Qureshi from Taxaccolega Chartered Accountants. If your business, whether you are a sole trader or a limited company, has gone over the UK VAT threshold and you haven't registered, this video is for you. We are going to walk you through what the rule says, how HMRC will treat your situation, what penalties might apply, and your options moving forward. What is the VAT threshold? In the UK, the compulsory VAT registration threshold is currently £90,000, taxable turnover in any 12-month rolling period. Taxable turnover is the total value of what you sell that is not VAT exempted. If you go over that figure, you're required to act, even if you did not realize it at the time. You must notify HMRC and register for VAT within 30 days of the end of the month you exceeded that threshold. For example, if you first went over in May, you must register by the end of June. What happens if you don't register on time? VAT still owed from effective date. Penalties possible. HMRC may enforce compliance. Failing to register when required does not mean HMRC will just let it go. If you did not register on time, HMRC can still backdate your VAT liability to the date you should have registered. You will be expected to account for VAT on all sales from that effective date, even if you did not charge VAT at that time. Unfortunately, that means you might owe VAT you never collected from customers. HMRC will also consider whether you should pay a penalty for late registration. Penalties for late registration penalties depend on how late the registration was. Up to 9 months late, about 5% of the VAT owed. 9 to 12 months late, about 10%. Over 18 months late, around 15%. There may also a minimum penalty of £50. These penalties are based on the VAT you should have charged from the time you should have been registered. Even if you did not collect that VAT from customers, HMRC still holds you responsible. In rare cases, you may be able to argue a reasonable excuse, for example, serious illness, but these are assessed strictly and must be well supported. Other HMRC compliance consequences beyond penalties for late registration. Once you are registered, you must submit your VAT returns on time, usually quarterly, and late returns can trigger separate penalty points and fixed fines under the updated HMRC regime. Pay any VAT due. Late payments can incur interest and additional charges. So small oversights can grow into more expensive problems if not handled quickly. Here's what you should consider doing now. Register for VAT immediately, even if you are late. Registering right away stops further penalties and starts your VAT responsibilities correctly. HMRC will tell you what you owe back to the effective date. 2. Apply for a VAT registration exception if you have only temporarily exceeded the threshold. For example, from a one-off large contract. You may be able to ask HMRC for an exception, so you don't need to register right now. You must demonstrate that your turnover will drop back below the threshold over the next 12 months. 3. Consider voluntary registration. Going forward, even if you haven't exceeded the threshold, some businesses choose to register voluntarily to reclaim VAT on purchases. This can be beneficial, especially if you work mainly with VAT registered businesses. 4. Get professional help. VAT rules can be tricky, especially with rolling turnover calculations. A chartered accountant can help you calculate your real turnover, prepare your registration, negotiate with HMRC, and minimize penalties. If you're unsure whether you have crossed the VAT threshold or you think HMRC might come knocking, don't leave it to the chance. Contact Taxaccolega Chartered Accountants. We help small UK businesses stay compliant, support VAT registrations, and sort out issues with HMRC quickly and professionally. Hit follow for more tax guidance and drop us a message if you need help. Thank you.